My husband was Jonathan Schmidt. He was an officer for the Truman Police Department in Arkansas. Jonathan had 2 children before we got together, Chase and Haley, and they were 3 and 1 when we started dating, and he had full custody of them, so they became my children, and we raised them together. Jonathan and I had 1 son together, Keaton. He was born October of 2009. Jonathan loved to do outdoors stuff. He loved to hunt and fish, so that was a big thing. We would go camping, and it was fun being together as a family. It was wonderful. He had always been interested in law enforcement, and he had always wanted to be a police officer his whole life. An opportunity came up for him to take a position at the Truman Police Department, and we talked about it and prayed about it, and I told him I supported him in whatever he wanted to do. I knew it was something he really wanted to do. He wanted to give back to our community. He wanted to make it safe for his family and his children. So in 2007, that's what he did. He left the steel mill, making very, very, very good money. Had lots of people tell him he was insane for doing that, to become a police officer and make under $30,000 a year. You always know that police officers are in danger. He would come home and tell me stories, and then he would see my reaction to some of the stories, and he wouldn't tell me a lot of stuff anymore. He had knives pulled on him and guns pulled on him at different times. So you realize that they're in danger. But as a wife, you don't let yourself think, well, what if that actually happened? Jonathan made a traffic stop. It was actually at 11:27 p.m. on April the 12th. The driver had a warrant for something, so he started getting the passengers out of the car. His sergeant came to back him up. He got to the back passenger side and opened that door, and that man opened fire on Jonathan as soon as he opened the door. Jonathan was shot 4 times, once in his hand, 1 went in his vest, which was stopped, 1 into his left jaw, and then 1 into his right cheek. I let my kids sleep until about 6 that morning. Then I woke Chase up and told him to come into Haley's room. So I had to tell him that Daddy had been shot. After Jonathan was killed, the foundation came in immediately. I had people contacting me at my home, wanting to help, making sure everything that could be done was being done for me and my family. Within a week, they had given me a check, which is unheard of. Even if you have a separate life insurance, you're talking about waiting weeks or months. So to have the foundation come in and within a week have money available to me to take care of my family was a godsend. After talking to other law enforcement widows and hearing their stories of what happened after their husbands died, I felt very grateful for my experience because the foundation came in and took care of me and made sure that I had what I needed. And at that time I was in such a fog, I barely remember anything that happened in that time. But now, knowing how many people were concerned for me and my children and our family, and that were willing to put in the time and effort, I was very thankful that the foundation had stepped in to do what they did. I wish you knew what a wonderful father he was to our children. I wish you knew how much he loved his community and how he wanted to make it safer. I wish you knew what a big heart he had and how he was willing to give the shirt off of his back to help out a stranger. What an amazing friend he was to everyone that knew him.